How do you enjoy your wealth? Because I've made money, and only recently I'm like, oh, maybe if I live in an 800 square foot like house, and it literally is falling apart. Like, no joke. You come over, like the walls are cracked. Like it's thundering in Austin. I'm a little scared.
This is amazing.
And so I've struggled, and it's upbringing, blah, blah. I'm not here to boohoo how I have money and I can't spend it, but I guess I'm curious, how do you enjoy it, and how do you look at it?
So I've done two things, really, three maybe, with my money. So number one is building the company. Like, telling stories is my greatest joy. And I set out now 16, 17 years ago, maybe more, and said, I'm going to make films my way. I'm going to go get rich and build a studio. And I'm actually doing it. And so that for me is the greatest thing that I will ever do with that, is to spend time creating stories. Like, I can't even explain how much I love the act of telling stories. Being in and deciding, theme and character arc and all that stuff is extraordinary. So building a company that can help people through stories is I think going to be the single greatest joy in business that I've ever had. So that's one. And being able to do it in such a way that I'm doing it now, where I'm not beholden to anybody, required an obscene amount of capital. Then you've got, everybody has their thing. For some people, it's cars and all that. For me, it's a house. Ever since I was a kid, I've fantasized about having a rad house. And so I now have a rad house. So that has been big. And then the third is obviously helping the people that I care about. I can't think of any single moment. Getting married, yes. So that admittedly was the coolest sort of single moment of my life. But giving my mom a check with a lot of commas and zeros was fucking cool. Like, that was just rad. To repay her for being the perfect mother and keeping me on the straight and narrow. Yeah, that was fun.
And so I guess, how was your relation? Well, one thing with that, maybe just as a simple, like, how much is your house worth? Because I know you film in your house, and your studio is bigger than my whole house.
Well, so
maybe range?
We don't live there anymore. So that now is just the studio, which is maybe even more gross. So we now live in a different house. That's the one question I will balk at giving a number, because it is. Elon Musk just said he's selling all of his houses and all that. And when asked why, this answer is so powerful. He said it's an attack vector. And I thought, whoa, like that is true, dude. That, yeah. There are even things around that I want to explain how people use it as an attack vector, but I don't even want to say it because I don't want people doing it. So that is the one thing where it's like, okay, there is definitely a downside to the world where, like, to give you an idea, a very famous person has a series on YouTube, and they ended up using my house as the thumbnail on one of their images as just like a ridiculous house. And I thought that will give you an idea of the price range, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah,
see, I'm lucky. Like, people no one wants to rob me. They're like, this guy's he's not gonna give us anything. All right, but would you say like 8 figures? Because I have your address, but I didn't look it up. But I looked at the house. I mean, I've seen the house.
Right.
But let's just say it's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
All right, moving forward. And so, in terms of, enjoying your wealth, I didn't really get a clarity about how you look at it today, because you have more wealth than you need. And a lot of people, the thing that trips me out sometimes, people aspire to that and they get there, but they're still them. And so I guess, how do you look at money specifically right now?
So I think about money as its potential. So what I always tell people about money is generating wealth is more powerful, I think, than what people realize. Not less, for sure, but it isn't at all what people think it's going to be. So money cannot affect how you feel about yourself. And that surprised me. I actually thought it would. I was so aspirational around money for so long that I had sort of this deep-seated sense that I would feel better about myself if I were rich. And then I sold a piece of the company and suddenly was wealthy overnight. And I was like, wow, all the insecurities that I've ever had, I still have. So, okay, cool. Money can't affect that. But money is letting me build a company that I believe in and letting me build something the way that I want to build. And that has been extraordinarily powerful. But the way that I ultimately think about money is that money is crazy transient. So I don't get fixated on money. I forget which Greek philosopher, but he used to force himself once a month to dress like a beggar and spend a night on the street to remind himself, like, this is what I'm afraid of, like that it's not that big of a deal. So the good news is I didn't grow up with money, and really I didn't get real wealth until I was in my late 30s. So it's like I don't think of it as being me. It's not like I associate money with me or my sense of worth or value. I'm very aware that the banking system could collapse. My wealth could go to nothing overnight. And why would that or not that make me anxious? It makes me anxious because I don't want to see my wife have to go through something hard. And it doesn't make me anxious because I know that I can rebuild. As long as I don't get brain trauma, like, I'll be able to rebuild. I'm willing to work extraordinarily hard. I've learned so much over the years that I'm very quickly able to translate that. I could go to any company with sort of in the general framework of my skill set and get a six-figure job literally in a day. So based on skills, not based on, like, they don't even need to know who I am. Just get me in the fucking room with them. I will show them in an interview, I know how to do the things you need to do to make more money. And because I can do things that make other people money, I never have to worry about the basics.